Hey there, Tracy here with another video for Kendra's Card Challenge, this time featuring Crafty Stamp Co. Let's go ahead and get started. And if you're not familiar with Kendra's Card Challenge, it's a challenge where you make 15 cards with 6 sheets of 6x6 pattern paper and enter them into Kendra's Facebook group to win prizes. And for this hop, we are featuring Crafty Stamp Co. All right, let's get right into that card. For this video, I'll be doing sketch 11, which is this one right here. And it's got a lot of little parts to it, but we'll go ahead and get started. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to color in. These are all of the stamps from the set called A Day Without. I can't imagine. And I'll be coloring in this little kitty and her little cup of coffee. Now I do add an extra at the end, but that's something that I just handmade because I just felt like she was a little queen and she needed a crown. So just using my Prismacolor pencils and coloring this in. And while I'm coloring, and by the way, this is highly sped up, so don't get your hopes up. This is a hop, so I hope that you'll be able to hop along. There's a link to the hop playlist down below, and if you just click it, you can hop along with all the hoppers. And then on each hopper's stop, there is a form that you can fill out to win a digital prize from Kendra. So don't forget to do that. So we'll go in with this pink here on this other kitty. And make sure that you give all the hoppers lots of love because we all need it. And so I realized that I am coloring this kitty pink. Yeah, I have a pink cat. That's the way it is. I don't know. Just something came over me and I decided that I wanted a pink cat. It's kind of more of a fuchsia, but I digress. So I'll go ahead and cut those out, and then I drew this little crown and colored it and cut it out. And then I've got the Day Without, and I cut that out, and I put a little black line around it. And then I've got the coffee, which I bubble cut. And there's other sentiments too. I just wasn't sure which one I was going to use. On the inside is going to say, just kidding, I have no idea, because ain't it the truth. So we'll go ahead and put together this panel, and there are a lot of little parts to it, and I decided to go black and white with this. So I'm going to just start by laying down the first piece, and I'm looking at the sketch in front of me. You guys can't see it, but I'm looking at it just to make sure I get everything right, and I'm just going to glue everything down. And I'll tell you, I've been having a lot of interruptions trying to do this voiceover. It's early morning here, and there's lots of activity. And somebody turns on the shower, and the water makes all kinds of noise. And then somebody's taking out the trash. It's just always something, right? So those of you who do edit your videos can feel my pain here. So I apologize if there are abrupt stops and starts here. And I forgot where I was. It's the alternative of starting over. I'll go ahead and do the stops and starts. So then I'll go ahead and glue on this next piece with kind of just eyeballing where that needs to be. Getting it as straight as I possibly can. Looking to be about, oh gosh, not quite 1/8 of an inch away from the last piece. And then I'll just kind of go around and get the pieces down. That one looks like it's going to drop over a little bit. And these are really thin pieces of paper. Friends, I took some of my old 12 by 12 paper pads that are meant for scrapbooking, so they're kind of thin paper, and cut them up into smithereens 6x6 pieces so that storage would be easier. And I could kind of go through and keep what I like and, you know, toss the rest. So this one's going to go down here, and then this one's going to come over here. Okay, looking good, looking good. I'll go ahead and do this piece first, and then the last piece, if it needs to overlap, you won't notice it. And just blacks, whites, and grays with some pops of teal or turquoise and pink for this card. Got a little bit of a departure from my usual colorful self, but then again, I have a pink cat. Who doesn't want a pink cat? I do. But I'm not going to dye my cat. I've seen some really cool dye jobs on animals, though. I don't know that it's a good or a safe thing to do for an animal. I personally wouldn't do it, but they're kind of cool to look at. Like I saw this one standard poodle, and it had like a skeleton. It was a white poodle and had like a skeleton. It was super cool looking. But yeah, no, probably not for me. And I don't know anybody could get away with doing that to a cat without being killed. So I'll put this last piece on and just try and get it even between the two borders so that I've got kind of an even border around it. And there, that's done. And then I'll pop that onto a white matte layer. So just to kind of give the card a little bit of extra. You don't have to do the extra steps. You can just do this directly on the card base if you want to, but that's not how the recipe goes. But you don't have to follow the recipe, you know? You can be avant-garde, you can go wild, you can be a rebel, which I often am. So let's go ahead and find some foam tape here. But before I do that, I decide I better grab my card base because it's better to glue all the flat stuff down to the card base. And just double checking to make sure that A, my card base is the right direction, and B, I want to go ahead and put my inside sentiment. Just for fun. Nothing extra other than that. Then I'll go ahead and glue this down. So, yeah, it's always my recommendation, if you're going to have pop-up elements in your card, put everything flat that needs to be flat first. I'm just going to kind of move this around because I use my PVA glue, which gives me a little bit of wiggle room. Get that nice and glued down. And I've put it on a card base that's just a little bit lighter of a shade of turquoise. Excuse me. And now we're going to find the foam tape. Sorry about that. I'm drinking coffee, just ate breakfast, I'm telling you. This is some low profile foam tape. And I believe I got that from scrapbook.com. I'm just going to put a couple of pieces. I'm really loving this 1mm low profile stuff because you still get the dimension, but it's not so bad that you can't mail your card, with confidence. Just make sure those are stuck down. Make sure nothing's sticking out. See if I can find an end. They're a little bit harder to peel because there's not a lot to grab, especially if you have short nails like me. Then I'm going to add some liquid glue, of course, just to kind of give me some room to move it around in case I drop it or set it down wrong. Well, this foam tape takes hold really quick. Just get that centered in there. And then we'll go ahead and put our pieces together here. So I've got my little cat, and she's going to be hanging over the edge there a bit. And I just fussy cut the cat, by the way. There's not a die for it that I'm aware of anyway. Easy cut, though. No problem. And I could leave the white around the whiskers because I had white in the background, so you don't even really see it. Let's get this moved to exactly where I want her. And notice I left the top of her head open. So I'm going to take my little handmade crown. I've just been in a crown mood. I don't know. And just pop that on top of her little head. Make sure it's good and stuck down. And then I'll go ahead and throw my sentiments on. And we're just about done with this card. I'm going to add some little kind of hot pink embellishments. Let's see, I'm going to go straight with the day without and make the coffee kind of catty corner. Such a cute little set. So don't forget to visit our sponsor, our super sponsor, Crafty Stamp Co, who are generously giving away a $25 gift certificate to one of the winners of Kendra's card challenge. So this is done except for the embellishments. And I'm going to go ahead and get those out. I've got some little yellow hearts here from Trinity. And I'm going to, can you see how the ears are heart-shaped? I'm going to put little yellow hearts in the ears and on one little yellow heart on the cat, just to kind of pull in the color, the yellow color of the crown. And these are teeny tiny for my big old hands to work with. So I'll go ahead and lay my glue down. Now in hindsight, looking at this card, you know, few weeks after I've already done it, probably should have colored in the mouth, but next time. It just didn't dawn on me that it needed color until I'm doing my voiceover. So put a little glue in the ears, and I'll glue a couple of those little teeny tiny hearts upside down. And it's best to pour them out into the tray rather than try and fish one out, because they're like flat back pearls. And just use my little picker tool to stick them down. That glue will dry clear, so I'm not too worried about it. You know, as it kind of oozes out. It's impossible to get a tiny, tiny, tiny little bit. You either get too little or too much. Or at least I do. And let's go ahead and get these sort of magenta little confetti pieces. And they're sort of iridescent, so they'll bring a little bit of pop to this card. And we'll just add 3 of them down. I'm just going to add my glue where I want them and then pop them down. I don't want to go too crazy on this. Okay, there's one. So everything you need to know about Kendra's Card Challenge, how to do it, is linked down below in my description box, including the link to the form for the giveaway for this hop. And you can enter on each hop, so don't forget to do that. Leave people a comment, leave them a thumbs up, show them some love. So there's our card finished. Let me pull it up a little bit closer, colored with colored pencils, with product from Crafty Stamp Co. I hope you like it. If you do, please consider giving me a thumbs up and leave a comment down below. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.